Hey, I think we're live. Are we live? Chat, let us know if you can see us and if you can hear us.
Nope. Oh, yes.
Yes. And for some reason, they're seeing Chet's thing up there for whatever reason.
It was there for a second.
Yeah, that was really weird. Hey, guys. How's everything going today? Hey, everybody's seeing us live. All right, great. Well, welcome to the Games Tavern Happy Hour, where we talk about the latest tabletop news, reviews, and occasionally we get some interviews, although not for this show tonight. A bunch of us nerds get together, talk about tabletop stuff, and we actually want to hear from what you guys are talking about as well. We've got an action-packed show tonight. I'm joined by our awesome co-host, Jeff, who you just saw a few moments ago. If this is your first time watching the Games Tavern or the Games Tavern Happy Hour show, welcome. Don't forget to give us a quick follow on Twitch. It's free, supports all of us here on the Games Tavern. If you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime gaming subscription, which you can use to show your support for all of us here on the Games Tavern. Prime gaming subscribers also get access to sub-only emotes and also access to our special subscriber-only Discord channel. And remember, you can watch us live on Twitch, but all shows are uploaded to YouTube typically within 48 hours, so you can catch up on all the interviews and reviews you may have missed. Big thanks to tabletopaudio.com for providing music, ambiance, and sound effects for the Game Tavern shows. You can use tabletop audio in your own campaigns by choosing from over 240 ambiance and music tracks, often with alternate versions available for Patreon patrons. Or if you need something custom, check out the sound pad and options to create your own custom sound pad. We think so highly of tabletop audio that we support them, and we think you should too. All right. Jeff, I'm excited. Are you excited today?
Always.
All right, man. Well, it looks like we got a huge packed set of releases and other information coming out. Kind of thrilled to see what everybody is talking about for that.
Definitely some whales in there.
Yeah, I mean, some big surprises as well. And I think that one of the biggest things that I think we'll see is a lot of the stuff on the board games is probably the most impressive. So why don't we just go ahead and cut right into the news and let's get her in. All right. So as we go right into the news, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have questions, just type it in all caps. We are tracking questions. And so when you have them, we'll try to answer them as best we can. So the first thing up today is Asmodi acquires Board Game Arena. Kind of a big surprise for us. Board game distributor Asmodi has picked up the digital platform Board Game Arena to expand its virtual board game offering. Kind of a smart strategic move, I think. Founded in 2010, Board Game Arena provides official online versions of over 250 tabletop board games, supported in 40 different languages, and includes Asmodi games like the joint published Carcassonne and Seven Wonders. This new partnership should allow Asmodi games to become faster, available faster on the platform, starting with Skull and Splendor in the next few weeks. Board Game Arena will remain independent with its current management still at the helm, similar to other Asmodi entities. Strategically, this makes sense to me. We kind of needed to get more remote play options given the current world situation. From a game design and a game company perspective, it just seems a natural choice for them to do this. What do you think, Jeff? Anything you'd like to add? Yeah, I'd love to hear what chat thinks too on this one.
So I saw it this week and I was thinking about it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, duh, that makes complete sense to me. After what they did in 2020 with their separation from Fantasy Flight Games, spreading out the IP across Atomic Mass Games, and Edge Entertainment, both taking the miniatures and the RPGs respectively. You're seeing Asmodee spread out their basically their eggs into multiple baskets, but keeping each of those baskets very selective on what it focuses on. So you have Fantasy Flight that's going to focus on the LCGs, CCGs. You're going to have Edge Entertainment focusing on RPGs. You're going to have Atomic Mass Games focusing on miniature games. And now you're going to have Board Game Arena focusing on that online entertainment, converting their games into virtual versions. So makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And And we see this as a win for people who love tabletop games, but currently having challenges meeting up with their friends at this point as well. Why don't you take us into, oh, wait. I do want to make sure that we also, share that information. We source our information here because Credible Hulk sources all of his information. So we're letting you know where we get our information from as well. Why don't you take us into the next one, Jeff?
Sure. I mean, we were just talking about Asmodi, so let's go into an Asmodi subsidiary, Fantasy Flight Games, specifically Star Wars X-Wing 2nd Edition. They are getting 3 new Squadron Packs arriving next month for Star Wars X-Wing. That'll feature exciting options for some of the most iconic ships of the Star Wars saga. These Squadron Packs for the Rebel Alliance, Galactic Empire, and Scum and Villainy factions offer new thematic pilots upgrades for both standard and epic play. Each Squadron Pack is the perfect starting point for collecting a faction. It's packed with new pilots and upgrades designed to work together to form the tactical core of the squadron. In addition to the unique paint schemes for each of these ships, each of these releases will feature a strong theme to help tell the narrative on the tabletop. Specifically, the narrative for this one is going to be Star Wars Rebels. You are going to see elements from all 3 factions coming from Star Wars Rebels. You have Phoenix, the Phoenix Cell, which is going to be parts of the Phoenix Squadron. For the Rebellion, you're going to have Sky Strike Squadron that will be the academy basically from the Empire. And then from the Fugitives and Collaborators Squadron for Scum and Villainy, you're going to have some key heroes from the Rebel show before they joined the Rebel show. Specifically, I'm talking about wow, I just blanked on his name. Kalen. He's going to be part of that faction, and this is supposed to take place before he joined Hera on the crew of the Ghost. All of these miniatures, of course, are painted beautifully and can be slipped right into your main forces as major reinforcements. Right now, you can look for these expansions at your local retailer on March 26th, or you can go ahead and pre-order now through your local game store. Or, of course, as always, through Fantasy Flight itself, but we always support the local game store. We would hope you to do as well. Now, we were talking earlier, before we went live, about cost of models.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the cost, and I went back and I saw that these are actually the first 3 packs. So each of these packs is 3 ships per pack for all these sections. This is 9 new ships coming out for the game. Well, they're not new unique ships, but they're 9, new elements with their respective cards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
None of these factions have yet, in 2nd edition at least, through Fantasy Flight, have received these type of packs. They've all so far mostly been singulars outside of the starter pack, outside of the starter box. And each of those singular ships was $20 each, $19.95. This pack is $49.95. So in theory, you're getting a $10 discount compared to 3 single packs. But still, $50. The price points for these models just seem so high for such a little ship. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I mean, they look amazing, though. I mean, you're definitely getting quality. You're getting all the extra. And you were talking about some of the stuff that money was also going to. So that when you look at these price points, you're not just thinking about what you're seeing. You're also thinking about
the R&D for the next miniatures that are coming out.
Yeah.
So when you're buying miniatures, obviously the more detailed or superb the miniature is when it comes out, or the more finishing work that has to be done to it. It's not just paying for that miniature, you're paying for the next batch of R&D. And that's one of the things you'll see as we talk about stuff as we get later on down into some of the miniature specific stuff that we're going to go into later on in the show today. So I'm just impressed with the new paintwork. This is probably some of the finest looking paintwork I've seen on these ships in a long, long time. And it'll be really exciting to see these get somewhere fast. So if Ken, any questions from the the audience, we're happy to look at that. We're excited to see it, and we'll go right into the next one here. Okay. Weird. Malifaux Explorer Society starter box. It's coming out. Pretty excited about that. For Malifaux 3rd edition, one of Weird's design goals was to make sure the game was easy to get into for new and returning players alike. They're continuing this trend by releasing a starter box for each faction, starting with the Explorer Society. So each starter box will include versatile characters and at least one versatile henchman. And that can be used with any crew in that faction and can be treated as a strong foundation to start building a crew for a 50 Soulstone game. So models included in each starter box will come pre-assembled so that you can start playing as soon as you open the box. This helps you also help your friends get started playing Malifaux without any troubles as well. To get started in Malifaux, we know that it takes up more than just putting models on the table. In each starter box, they're including their stat cards, 2 copies of each Explorer Society general upgrade, a measuring widget, and a handful of 30mm tokens, all of which are themed to that starter box's faction. So each starter box will also have a unique fate deck styled with that faction's colors and characters. And these fate decks won't be available anywhere else. So the Explorer Society starter box will be hitting your local stores in May. Definitely check it out. We're giving you an early look right now. Please get excited, everybody. This is going to be cool when it hits. I love the weird Malifaux look. I think these cards are going to be fantastic. Just look at the artwork on them. Jeff, I don't know how they did it, but they did a hell of a job.
I every single time I look at these companies and I go, wow. And Weird never disappoints. You got to think about this. One of the problems with Weird has always been that their models are sometimes really annoying to put together. I remember getting one box one time, and I literally had pieces smaller than a pin, like like the edge of a pin that I had to somehow like attach, and for them to come pre-assembled, and also all the unique faction stuff, that's huge, because that's kind of what it is. A lot of people, just like in other games like 40K, you kind of get a faction that you support a lot, and Weird, they're giving you faction specific decks in every box. Like, that's amazing. The widget's cool. Widgets are always nice to have, and instead of having to go to a third party, you can get it from Weird. It's going to have your faction symbol on it. That's always a good. The tokens are great. Yeah, it's a good starting box. Now, like it does say though, it doesn't come with a master, so you'll be able to play. There's 2 versions of the game. There's either there's the henchman led games, and then there's the master led games. So you still need to add a master to this in order to do the master games, but you can do a 30 Soulstone henchman game straight out of the box, which is perfect for teaching this game. Absolutely perfect, because you don't need the master. All the master does is adds rules and stuff, and adds abilities. All the other models have their own unique capabilities. So this is a wonderful box. I'm definitely looking forward. I'm an Outcast player. They did say in the write-up that Outcasts are going to be one of the next starter boxes previewed. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
That is going to be great to see. All right, moving forward to the next awesome, cool things that we're talking about tonight is Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Gets a huge double spread from us today, from all the stuff they're releasing. Kind of exciting to see it all come out. Sigmar, it's a big week just for Age of Sigmar in general. The pre-orders, 2 new battle tomes are arriving on their web store, along with a host of Slanashi models and new Khainite endless spells. And of course, we're going to talk about Jeff's personal favorite, faction clothing.
Always.
So first, the Hedonites of Slanash, new battle tomes, and a litany of new models. We couldn't even fit all the models on the page. That's how many there are. And Jeff spent probably a good hour just trying to fit these on. I'm joking. The big boy, though, is Sigvauld, Prince of Slanash. Now, Sigvauld apparently has been elevated quite a bit now from his previous standing as a champion. He looks immensely detailed, and he's just awesome. The rest of the models range from elites to cavalry to battle line and even monstrous creatures. Each one of these is just a ridiculous amount of detail lavished on every model. Every millimeter of space on the model just has amazing details you can pick out with paint. And all of them, you actually got to go check these out on the link that we put in chat for you to see them in all their glorious detail. I believe that Sigvauld model is quite large. It's not just a human-sized model. That's now a very large model.
Yes.
It's like Primarch size if you're a 40K player, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm impressed. And the shirts.
And yeah, you can get Sigvauld on a shirt if you want.
Yep, because nothing says souls that scream like a Sigvauld on a shirt. What's that? Rejoice, Fates and Wastrels? Waifs and Wastrels? Waifs and Wastrels. Yeah. Okay. That's a very Slanash-y concept.
Your demonette, yeah.
Yeah. Moving to the next phase here, everything after that just seems to take a step back, because even though the Daughters of Cain are getting their own new battle tome even the Daughters of Cain are getting their own new battle tome to rival the new Slaaneshi. It's packed up with lore, updated war scrolls, and brand new spells. Instead of units, the Daughters of Cain are receiving new models to represent their endless spells. And there's so much blood everywhere. Even snakes made of blood. I love it. To round this out, there's some perfectly appropriate blood red and insignia marked Daughters of Cain dice. And Jeff's favorite, once again, some clothing options to represent the daughters, no matter where you are, whether you're playing at the game table or away, to just show your loyalty to, the Daughters of Cain. Jeff, I think we're in deep trouble, buddy.
So I was looking at these, and while the Slaanesh got all of those models, and they are really nice, these blood token models for the endless spells for Daughters of Cain are crazy. Like that middle one, that's like 3 swords with these like lines of blood coming off of it. I don't even know how they made that model. Like, I really do not know how they molded that model, because it's got gaps all over the place.
It's in parts. You have to put it together.
That's so many gaps, though. Look at all the gaps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Games Workshop consistently pushes the envelope on what's possible with both detail and with molding. And we know they have some of the finest machined molds in the world of anything. And they don't slouch on price when it comes to building those molds. And you can see the results in these miniatures today.
Yep.
Just a fantastic set of detailed miniatures. Why don't you take us into the next one there, Jeff?
All right, Privateer Press. Monster Apocalypse is getting a dynamic updates. And for those that don't know, Monster Apocalypse is the kaiju-themed collectible miniatures game, which has been published by Privateer Press. It was published by Privateer Press in 2010 as a standalone game. They rebooted it in 2018 with streamlined rules and larger figures. And they've been putting out new models since then as part of that revamped kind of more of a living game. Now, to really bring it up a notch and take it to the next level as a living game, they're going to be doing yearly dynamic updates. The first one is going to be coming at the same time as their new Elemental Champions and Savage Swarm starters hit the market. With over 12 factions, there's been a lot of growth of the models, but no updates so far since 2018 for some of the oldest models to help with balance or with their errata, making sure their errata reaches their cards. So these dynamic updates are seeking to update 41 models in some way. So in this game, even some of the buildings have their own models, and they're updating those cards as well. So that 41 models includes building models. The first 17 models that are getting significant changes are basically the ones that have had significant errata done, and they're having their or need like full like revamps in order to make sense in the current since the rules have changed with erratas as well. They're going to get actual physical cards made that you can buy directly from Privateer Press. But all 41 will have their cards available digitally online that you can download and print out yourself. So there's absolutely no need to buy the 17 cards unless you just like having, their card stock or whatever they use. These dynamic updates are going to, like I said, planning to occur once a year, but they did say that this is not going to interfere with their normal errata rulings. So you're not going to have to wait a year for errata. Everything's going to still happen like normal. You're just going to get these dynamic updates to characters and models as you go, so that again nothing falls behind like they noticed happened. I think this is great. I think this is a good update. The game's fun. If you haven't played it before, these type of monster games where you get to like smash buildings and try to fight over Tokyo, or there's always just great fun.
I'm just looking at the gorilla model that's got an ICBM as a bazooka.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Intercontinental
Scud,
ballistic missile as a bazooka.
I think that's a
cool.
Scud, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be that too. Yeah. And then you see in the imagery, like some giant gorilla with a jetpack and carrying bomb by its feet. Like, you can't beat this entertainment value.
Like I said, 12 factions. They have really ran the gambit on what all those different factions, bugs, aliens, gorillas, all Cthulhu-esque horrors. A little bit of everything is in there. It's wonderful. It's a good
This
game.
is pretty cool, man. I gotta say.
And it's Privateer Press, so they've got good quality. This is just one in their line.
Do you have any insight as to the miniatures that are going to come with this, or is this their virtual tabletop game version? Because I'm seeing the imagery here. Is this just concept art, or is this actually something you're going to do on Tabletop Simulator or something?
That's Tabletop Simulator.
That's pretty cool.
But the game itself is played physically, of course, normally, but as with almost every game in existence now, you can find a version of it made in Tabletop Simulator.
Okay. Well, that's just awesome. I can't wait to try this one out then. Moving to our next one, Umbrella Academy. Jeff, now, are you a fan of Umbrella Academy?
I enjoyed it. It was a good show.
Okay. Well, Umbrella Academy has come out with this new amazing game from Studio 71. This Kickstarter's game set is in the Umbrella Academy universe, and it's finally hitting stores this month. The game uses almost 200 cards for 1 to 6 players, which, Jeff, you like that because that 5 to 6 player mark.
Yep.
That's the sweet spot right there.
Yep.
And in this game, each player gets to pick their favorite family member to act as their hero card and battle against villains while dealing with their dysfunctional family. Isn't that awesome? With a low cost point, a low time investment, and a fairly basic gameplay, this is an easy pickup games for fans of the genre that would like something that could be played with a little setup time and by most ages and skill levels. So it's a good game that everybody can play together. Mostly older kids though, but 12 plus. But a 20-minute game that you could play several times with your family over and over again sounds like a very good way to go.
Yeah,
sounds like fast play, good session time. You
can go straight to that link and download the rules. They keep updated rules directly on that link. The rule page is only like 6 pages long, so yeah, it's not super rules dense. Like I said, the game they state the game should take about 20 minutes, so it's pretty quick. The price point of it is definitely in the ballpark, particularly if you're looking, like I said, 5 to 6. 5 to 6 for that price point, that's pretty good. That's really good.
That is outstanding. Take us in on the Magic the Gathering news.
Yeah.
Wait. What's next year? Is this Magic the Gathering, or what is this? Vault of Magic. Am I missing something here? Oh, well,
maybe. Oops.
let's
I might have missed it.
Yeah, I think you did. Hold on a second, gang.
I'm a bad. I apologize.
Yeah, you did. But we'll just bring this back to some general news here real quick. Magic banned and restricted updated their list throughout the past year with pandemic conditions resulting in fewer high-level tabletop tournaments. Wizards of the Coast correspondingly slowed the pace of banned and restricted list changes in non-rotating formats. So expect some more changes to that. Recent community discussion has made it clear that many fans of those formats are interested in seeing shakeups to those metagames. This week's changes represent Wizards taking a close look at each of historic, Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, and Vintage, and responding to both play data and community feedback. Additionally, Wizards is updating the rules for Cascade to address interactions in older formats as well. So this rule will be implemented on Magic Online on 17 February, tomorrow. The full list of all bans, unbanned, and rules changes can be found at the link that we just dropped in chat. So you should see that there shortly. There you go. And check it out. That's pretty cool. Now for what I really wanted you to kick us into, the Kickstarter Roundup, Jeff. Talk to us about Vault of Magic.
All right. So longtime writer of Pathfinder supplementals, and now with this will be their 35th add-on for 5th edition. Kobold Press brings us their newest offering, the Vault of Magic. This grimoire of new magic items for 5th edition campaigns brings wild surprises to your gaming table, from unknown potions to fabled weapons and armor to everyday magic that could become a campaign staple. With over 800 items. That's something for here for your game, whether it is a new game just getting started or a long-term campaign that needs a jolt of new inspiration. For both the heroes, and you can also give these to the villains. Big name contributors to this volume include Adam Bradford, Luke Gygax, Daniel Kwan, Todd Ginrick, Lauren Obo Urban, and many more. Like, it was a laundry list of people that have contributed items to this book. It looks outstanding. It just started yesterday. It blew through its Kickstarter goals. It blew through all of its stretch goals. It blew so fast through its stretch goals. They haven't even had a chance to update their stretch goals yet. They're already out of all of them. And it still has 29 more days to go, and will complete on Wednesday, March 17th. Plenty of time to jump on board. Kobold Press does amazing work. This one looks just to be a feather in their cap, particularly because magic items, having a bigger options, you're not going to, and so that you can choose from, you can kind of do one of two ways in my mind. Tailor it to be more appropriate to the situation, maybe the enemy that you're facing. It would make more sense for them to have something specific rather than just one of the generic magic items, or something that your players could make more use of, or something that they might need in the future for some plot that you have brewing. So many good ideas in here, so many options, just wonderful. I'm definitely picking this up.
Yeah, it's a glorious looking book, I can tell you that right now. The artwork, I'm just impressed with it. Okay, moving to the next one, the One Ring. Give us the whole rundown on this one, Jeff. I'm excited.
Another one, like I was saying at the beginning, big pieces in here. Some of these are near and dear to my heart. The One Ring is one of those items. I played the One Ring when it came out in 2011. I played it for years with friends. We went from Middle Earth role playing to the One Ring night and day. The One Ring changed how you played. It went from that old percentile style to this new style, which is much more modern. And it getting a second edition, wonderful. So following on to the last is an even bigger fish. Like I said, that is Free League's The One Ring second edition, published in partnership with Sophisticated Games. So the original designer of the One Ring is returning, this time pairing with Free League to publish the long-awaited second edition of his popular entry into Tolkien's Middle Earth. The new edition of the One Ring brings players further into the twilight of the Third Age with a new hardbound. Yes, it is going to come as hardbound as the base, keeping the basics of the game for ease of entry for veterans of the first edition, while adding a set of updated and streamlined rules developed thanks to years of players' feedback and raising the game to a high standard of quality. Off the bat right there, tell me that you're taking feedback since 2011 of all the problems with the original and just updating that into a new edition instead of a new system. already has me hooked. Actually, I've already kickstarted this.
Yeah.
It
is there, buddy.
It is set in a new locale. So they're moving away from Rovania, which was the area west of or east of the Forbidden Forest and east or west of the Lonely Mountain, and this is going to move into the mist. That's going to travel across the Misty Mountains to the Lone Lands. Now, the Lone Lands of Eriador is the vast land that once saw the glory of the North Kingdoms of the Dunedain, home to Weathertop, and it will encompass all that space from Bree in the west to the Troll Shawls of Rivendell in the east. It's going to be set in the year 2965 of the Third Age. So while they moved location, they really didn't move time. This is still taking place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, at least in game. You can always play whatever time
period you want.
Here, yeah. But specifically for the lore and everything that's going to be in the book, it's set in that one time. Complete visual redesign of art and graphics already. It just looks so Tolkien. It looks so classic, so like just that old style. It's beautiful. It started 5 days ago. They passed $1 million today. That's $1 million on an RPG.
I think that the tough part for us is we only have one space to put the stuff here for this. And if you go to the link that we posted in chat for this on Kickstarter for the One Ring, you're really going to be just spoiled when you see the artwork that we couldn't put up here to show you. And I just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to take a look at that. The map work is fantastic. The artwork and the cards is fantastic. Even the dice are really cool.
Yeah. So the dice, they're keeping the same style dice. So you're going to have 6d6 and 1d12. But they're keeping the Eye of Sauron. They're keeping the tree of Gandalf. If you go onto the link and check it out, you can actually see that map. That map is of the Shire, actually, which technically isn't part of the Lone Lands that they say that this is going to take part of. But who am I to complain? It still looks just amazing. Yes, you've played this before because this is the second edition. Maka. The Adventures of Middle-earth 5e, yes, but there is something about this game that allows you to more represent fear that I don't think 5e does. And fear and morale is much more a part of Middle-earth than hit points and death. Because remember, in the One Ring, you don't die. When you go down to 0 morale, you don't die, you flee. You are afraid and you flee from the darkness, never to be seen again. You go insane and you just disappear. I find that so much more thematically Tolkien than just dying. Like, yes, there was death in Lord of the Rings, there's death in The Hobbit, but it just feels so good in this game. I know some people didn't like and Maka, while you say you didn't enjoy this as much as Adventures in Middle-earth 5e, hopefully, and I'm hoping too, they fix some of the problems. Maybe that's the big hope, right? So they're supposed to be taking feedback and they're supposed to be implemented into this new edition. So maybe whatever was the biggest thing that really drove you away got fixed.
I will say this, though. There's enough people who are already impressed with this enough that they've already unlocked 23 of the stretch goals out of 25.
Actually, I think they've already gone to 25. They just haven't.
No.
Today.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at them both right now. So unless they unlocked while we were on the line with them, 20. Yeah, there's 25 total. 23 have already unlocked, and there's probably not much of a chance that they won't unlock the other 2 as well. And so they've already gotten all the way up to Bombadil. I'm just so impressed with this set.
The dice also, that Sauron dice set, that's the Sauronic dice set that's not even listed on here. That's something new. Like that looks getting some black dice. I know some people that really like to roll that darker side, and I know a guy that will be grossly enjoying, probably get a couple of sets of those.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, let's carry on to the next item on the list. This one is the Witcher board game, which I know all of us are excited about. Just look at the miniatures, man. Give us the rundown.
So yeah, Go On Board has partnered with CD Projekt Red to create a board game inspired by The Witcher. I mean, there's not much more to say, but I will. It's going to be delving into even more monsters and Witcher. It's going to be a deck building adventure. So the gameplay is going to be a big box action adventure board game made for 2 to 5, already off to a good number, set in the dark fantasy world of The Witcher, years before the saga of Geralt of Rivia. The board game will expand the world history of Witcher lore from CD Projekt Red's The Witcher video game series, going to a time when even more monsters and Witchers roam the continent. We're going pre-Witcher, so think about that. The Witcher Old World sees 2 to 5 players traveling across a vast map, embarking on masterfully penned quests, encountering and making ambiguously moral choices, fighting monsters, and sometimes even brawling with other Witchers to defend their school's honor. The game lets players construct their own unique decks of cards by choosing from a wide range of abilities, attacks, dodges, and Witcher combat magic known as signs. Through card synergy, players aim to achieve powerful combos as they utilize their Witcher's school's hallmark abilities to their full potential. Quests, battles, and even dice poker. Yes, they put the dice poker in here. Will allow each player to earn money, obtain new items, and train their skills. Development already began before they made this announcement this past week. So they're looking to do a Kickstarter in May and have the game in your hand in April of 2022.
So that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, relatively quick indeed. We'll cover this again once we get closer, if any bigger details show up once May rolls around. But, with a game like this and models like that and some solid games like Go On Board, it's a good place to get started.
Man, I just want it for the miniatures alone. I'd love to paint those. They look amazing.
The whatever that that thing on the left.
Whatever that thing is on the left. That's pretty much how it goes, right? With the monsters and some of the stuff. Yeah.
I want to call it a dryad, like a corrupted dryad or something.
Well, whatever it is, you're going to get to fight it along with wolves, apparently, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next up, the new Phoenix collection from our friends over at Dogmite. So to celebrate the passing of 2020 and embrace optimism for the future, a limited edition Kickstarter collection from Dogmite Games. Now, Dogmite already makes amazing accessories for your game table, and they're quite well known out there. We probably don't need to say too much other than if you're looking for something that's got a lot of depth in the wood itself, Dogmite Games is one of the specialty areas or specialty groups that can make that kind of stuff. Each piece that they've made for this particular set is themed around the Phoenix, and it's got a special feature to mark them as unique to this period of time. So there is a huge number of different Phoenix-themed items in this Kickstarter for all your gaming peripheral needs. The GM screen, the dice rack, a pen holder, carrying bag, dice box, mini painter holder, rolling tray, dice tower, because if you've got a dice tower and a rolling tray, your options are unlimited for dice, and a player pad for personal storage at the table. Of everything, the GM screen is the craziest thing out there. You can see, 2 different pictures of it. It is a spectacular 4-piece wood set that is stained to match or colored to match with a lot of just gorgeous work on it to do that. And then it's also got a ton of extra features built into it as well. The D2021 is a bit of a gimmicky thing. So instead of the 20, it's got a 21 on the dice. We've seen this before. I think it's great to see them doing it because the dice are made of wood. And then their mini paint holder is a rather unique piece. I got to say though, from a painter perspective, having a mini paint holder that's that pretty, I worry about putting a miniature on it and getting paint on the paint holder, but it's fantastic. Dogmite Games has a long, lustrous history of quality woodworking items and their accessories. I've no doubt they should be quite excellent additions on anyone's table, including yours, if you're interested in this stuff. With 20 days to go, there's plenty of time to keep an eye on it, with funding ending on Tuesday, March 9th. Definitely check it out. It's worth it. If for no other reason, just to see what's possible with gaming accessories. So, for example, on the backside of the DM screen, you see there's plexi panels with magnetic parts built in that you can pop on and off to hold your notes, to write on. Sky's the limit. They also have steel bearings to hold your notes in place. You got options.
Like I said, that, or like you said, that GM screen is crazy. Like how much you get. Like all those little tabs and trackers, it's beautiful. Now, the thing that got me, the mini painter, is that something that other people do with kind of, it's like a hand brace up there?
So yeah, typically you hold it in your hand like this, and then the part that's curved around the top there, that copper wire piece, you can also place like your finger on, so that you're holding the miniature and you have control as you're applying the paint to the miniature.
So the way they showed it, actually, you held the wood in one hand, and then your other hand rested on that.
You can do it that way too. Most people don't. At least that I've worked with. I got one.
You are much more the painter specialist.
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. That's a fantastic mini painter, and I would use it in a heartbeat. Like if I got it, I would use it in a heartbeat. Right now, I just use this, which is a simple piece of wood with some sticky tack on it. And that's pretty much what I do. When you have that piece that loops over the top there, you can have your finger here like this, or your thumb on it. So you have a little more control without touching the model. That's an important part, is you're not touching the model. The model stays where it is, so you can apply paint to it. Right. And you're not getting any paint off the model itself.
The other thing I saw on it is that the top of where the model goes is a cork. Yeah. And they said that it's and they have like 2 replacement corks that come with it. How does that work?
So you basically attach the model to the cork using sticky tack.
But why cork?
Cork, because it comes in and out of there and it fits and it sticks. So you can wedge it in like you would in a wine bottle and it won't come out. Because you don't want to tilt the piece sideways and have the model go thump and fall onto the ground.
Right.
So the cork's in there where it'll stay, but it's also something you can pop out over time.
Right.
So you can swap different models in and out as you're painting. Because some of us do like more than one model at a time, and if we've got leftover paint, we'll work on more than one model and keep that color going. But it's a spectacular piece nonetheless. It looks like they put some thought into it. I can't wait to see how it works out.
Oh yeah, if you go to the link and check it out, it breaks down each item, or each of the bigger items, into all their little features. Like the player pad. The player pad actually has both a plexi panel that goes on top of it, and then also a wood cover. So, and I think they said 24 different options for the plexi panels.
Oh yeah, at least in terms of how they can come out. Yeah.
Yeah, they look, and it's so many options, like too many options, I think almost.
I don't think so. I think they've got a great number of options there.
It's hard to choose though.
The problem I have with stuff like that is I don't have the ability to write on those plexi panels. And most of the time I have other stuff up that blocks most of those screens anyway, like digital devices and stuff like that. But for a paper DM guy, that's going to be the bee's knees. I would still get this just because look at that screen.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. The plexi trackers on the top for tracking initiative and the order in which flights happen is a fantastic addition. I would definitely use something like that.
I also like the ability you can kind of, let's say you're at a smaller table, you don't need all 4 panels, you just go down to 3.
Do they have an option for that?
Well, yeah, it's all held together magnetically.
Is it? I thought those were hinges. Okay.
Are they?
Cool. If it's magnetic, it's still killer.
Magnet pivots.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's all magnetized together.
Wow. That is so cool. Let's go on to the next thing, going into convention discussions. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
So yeah, two things coming out of Gen Con this week. After, I think it was either late December or early January, they sent out saying that they were delaying their stuff. So they are still moving forward with some things. First up is to start the season off right. They have the Gen Con Spring Showcase 2021. You can join Gen Con and some of your favorite tabletop publishers this March 6th and 7th for previews of brand new games on Twitch and right here on that webpage that is linked in the chat. Plus lots more games and featured content for their blog, newsletter, and social media accounts in the weeks leading up to the event. I will be paying attention. I'll be watching, of course. If we see anything insane, we'll be sure to talk about it in the following, March 6th and 7th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully on the 9th, we've got some more stuff to talk about.
Actually,
the schedule is still coming soon. So hopefully we'll have that in the next week or so. Yeah.
March 6th and 7th. Isn't that at the same time as the Reapercon?
I don't know.
Reaper Virtual Expo. Let me check that.
Reapercon. I'm seeing 2020. I don't see 2021 yet.
Well,
I thought that was because Reapercon 2020 was supposed to be in May.
No, it's the Reaper Virtual Con. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be some conflicts there. March 5 through 7. Yeah, it's March 5 through 7 at the same time. That's going to be interesting. Now I've got to make tough decisions.
So I think really this is specifically only for there's no gaming. This isn't for gaming. This is people showing off their wares.
So it's a showcase.
Yes, but it says it in the name, showcase.
Oh, okay. All right. What's this about the attendance survey?
Yeah. And finally, where'd it go? Last note, Gen Con sent out a survey by email, at least I received it this past week, to prior attendees to ask for attendance and restrictions. Specifically, they're asking people would want to or not want and interest in attending if different levels of protection were put into place. So that included masks, that included sanitizing, having sanitizing stations all over the place, forcing. They were even asking the question, would you need others to have the vaccine? Would you have to have vaccine? Would you need to show proof of vaccine? And they're trying to get a gauge on, like what's the majority of what people are, what's the line that people are willing to cross in order. They're talking about extra outdoors activity, taking some of this stuff outside if they need to. August in Indianapolis in the summer, though, no, thank you.
And you know that area very well, don't you?
Yeah, I've been to several Gen Cons and I grew up in the area.
Yeah.
And then there was, a smaller. They were asking questions like, would you still come if it was a smaller event, and stuff like that. So it was a pretty in-depth survey.
I think it's still going to be hard for them to do that when you consider that there's still travel restrictions going on all over the place. So they could actually have people that could say they want to go, but if travel restrictions are still there, may not help them get there.
What travel restrictions?
Well, as things are happening, you're going to see people start to possibly there are different people that are not, different states that have restrictions in place still.
Huh.
So we'll see what happens as things get under control or not. We'll find out. Yeah. I'm just glad they're doing the right thing. They're getting the feedback from the people themselves who want to go, as opposed to guessing, which is smart.
100%.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to agree. I think it's big, particularly because not only are they getting the feedback, but it's like I said, that line. What is the line that people are willing to how much inconvenience is someone willing to take in order to attend?
Absolutely. Well, hey guys, this seems like as good a time as any. We are going to cut for break, and when we come back, we're going to ask you guys to tell us what you think of tabletop gaming and TTRPGs. So we'll be right back. Take us into break. Hey, we're back. Glad to see everybody. Excited to see you guys and in chat. We're really taking questions directly from you guys to discuss the various different tabletop things that you saw today, as well as anything else that you're interested in discussing tonight as well. So if you've got any tabletop things you want to go over, we're definitely interested in hearing from you guys as well. Definitely talk us through what you're thinking in your games, your tabletop role-playing games, your board games, your miniatures games, and of course your games of Magic and other tabletop card games as you see fit. So, Jeff, what are you playing these days? Because I know you got another game that we don't stream.
So let's see. Of course, I got the Wednesday game for the Vulcan Weave. So that's D&D 5th edition. My Friday night game is a D&D 3.5 game. And then my every other Saturday game is 2nd edition Mech Warrior RPG or Battletech RPG.
Why should I not be surprised that you're doing Battletech, my friend?
You know, it's a lot harder than you think to find somebody to run Battletech. Out people to play it too. It's it is not the greatest of systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a little clunky.
Well, you know, I mean, any system can be improved, I think, a little bit here and there with minor tweaks, and most people that are doing an RPG want to just get along as they're doing it. So,
very much, and it's about the story as much as the gameplay, right? And the interaction. We're having fun. We're I don't know. We're like 6 months in now, 5 months in.
So how many mechs have you lost?
Surprisingly, none.
And you're not really playing Mech Warrior or Battletech RPG. You haven't had a mech blown out from under you. What the heck?
We've killed a lot. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that the GM's not watching. So I will say he gives us way too much advantage. The infantry, one platoon of infantry has killed more mechs than our entire company.
One platoon. How is that possible?
He runs some random like headshot rules, and just he says that basically in his universe, if an infantry unit is on your mech for 2 turns, the second turn they get to make all of their attacks against your head.
What? What kind of witchcraft is this?
That's what I said. That's like I'm never getting near infantry that you put on the table, ever.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
That infantry over there, they're getting artillery dropped on their faces. I don't care.
That is so scary. I can't imagine.
Like the last mission that we played this past Saturday, we took out 2 Mad Cats with 4 medium mechs, and we never got shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The first one, we dropped 2 Arrow 4s and some LRMs into from behind cover with infantry spotting from the building. Never saw it coming, just schwacked him right off the bat. And then the second one got infantryed.
Oh, don't you love it when you get infantryed?
Apparently it's a thing in his game.
Yeah. But so how's the Vulcan Weave going? What's the Weave up to?
Ooh.
What should we be expecting you guys walking into on Wednesday?
Dude, tomorrow gonna be some craziness.
Yeah,
we coming out of the tower.
We came out of that giant lion with the undead lich and the ghost ghost king.
The ghost lord.
Ghost Lord, yeah. So now you've got him on your side at least, or at least he's not going to get into the fight, but maybe he'll come to help you with the fight too.
Seems that way. Hopefully, that's the plan, right? But we're not exactly like at the peak of shape right now. A little worn down, you know. We haven't slept in like 3 sessions now, so we're a little worn that way. And now we're getting we're running from our lives. From this kill team. Specified kill team is what the GM used. So we are So it's going to see us have to do maybe something out of our butts in order to survive tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Well, that'll be interesting to see. And that Black Dragon knows you're around too, right?
Black Dragon.
Yeah, the one you didn't kill as you destroyed.
Oh, he's not going to come back yet.
Right. You never know.
He doesn't know where we are. He flew back to the main body.
Okay. I hope so. Because he basically almost one-shotted a bunch of you.
Oh, they don't count.
I see the big bad paladin just stands up and takes a beating and keeps on going, right? So what do you think is going to happen in the big fight? You think you guys are going to make it, or you think it's going to be a draw?
The big fight.
Yeah, because there's a war.
I think it's going to come down to two things. First thing is what does the Ghost King do, or what does the Ghost Lord do? Sorry.
Wow, you're a very important gentleman over there today.
Apparently. So it's going to come down to what the Ghost Lord does, and the second being is when does the airship show up so that I can drive it into something?
Oh, the airship, yeah, because you were already talking like, I'm going to take this thing and crash it into the next thing that comes in.
Yeah, I'm going to slam it straight into a dragon. It's going to be fine. This is why I'm not worried about the dragons, because I'm going to have the airship. It's going to be great.
Yeah, because, I mean, what could possibly go wrong when an acid-breathing dragon starts, taking pot shots at an airship?
It doesn't matter when the airship's hitting it into the ground.
If it gets hit, they can fly out of the way, maybe?
No. I'm flying too fast, obviously.
What kind of airship you got there? Does like Mach 3 or what do you got there? Yeah, okay.
It's called plot armor.
Plot armor. Okay. That should be actually pretty cool to see. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. For those of you who don't know, Grant Ellis is the dungeon master for that show. We've also got Mr. Smithwick. If you look him up on Twitter, that's Corey. We've got Tom, who plays Bope. We've got Michelle, who plays Delirious, and who am I forgetting? Jeff, you play Rinion, and I'm forgetting somebody. Who is it?
Are you?
Am I? Yeah, I am. I'm forgetting somebody. Rinion, Ellen.
No, there's 5 of us.
Did I get all 5 of you guys? Quentin, yeah, Josh, who plays Quentin, and Quentin is actually very entertaining as the rogue of that party. So it'll be pretty cool to see that kick in. Where else are you guys going to be going to? Where's the next place you think you're going to go to?
So, unless some shenanigans happen and we have to do something, which there might be some rumblings in our out of character chat that we might do something silly.
Silly's good.
I think the next thing after we escape the kill team, if we escape the kill team, when we escape the kill team, one of those is going to be to go to the city and prepare for the main assault. Now, is that the best place for us? As an elite team, should we be on the front lines, or should we be deep striking behind the lines to take out leadership? Who knows? There's some interesting things that could be placed onto the board there.
Truly.
It kind of comes down to what Grant lets us do. And knowing Grant, it's kind of what we come up to do, and then he'll be okay with it. So I think if somebody comes up with something crazy eyes, maybe we can get to do it. That
would be pretty cool. We did have a question. Would the Hindenburg have a fare better against an acid-breathing dragon? The answer is no.
I mean, it wouldn't have exploded because I don't think acid would have caused a spark or caused it to heat up enough to explode.
Once, you know what? It doesn't matter. Once all the lighter than air trapped within the Zeppelin bubble is popped either by acid or flames, it still crashes to the ground in a mess.
Sure, it would crash, but it wouldn't crash in a fiery ball.
Right. Instead, it would just be a collapsing giant batch of metal holding whatever it was there, and then, there's no help.
It's less oh the humanity and more like oh no that looks bad.
Yeah, that looks like crushing pain when they land.
So
That doesn't stop at the end.
you're bombarding me with all the questions. What are you playing, good sir?
Oh well, this Saturday I'm running Dark Days in Mulemaster with a completely new set of faces.
What is Mole Master?
Mulemaster is a town around the Moonsea in the I want to say southeastern edge. Its only thing that it's got going for it is the fact that it is a seaport town right before the main river that gets it back into the Dragon Sea. Um, the Sea of Falling Stars. Yeah, the Sea of Falling Stars. And it's it's a very bad place that has what's known as the Arcane Edict, where if you are a arcane caster of any sort, you are not allowed to cast any magic. You must swear not to cast any magic whatsoever, unless you are a member of the Cloaks, and you must also swear at the same time that you will do no harm to the High Blade or try to usurp his rule, his or her rule of the city, whoever the High Blade is, which is the equivalent of a king. And it's very much a crappy place to live. I mean, it just is. So it's like Gotham City for D&D in many respects.
So if you can't cast magic,
you can't cast arcane magic.
Well,
divine magic is okay.
Sorry, you can't be caught casting magic.
That's correct. Caught is the operative word.
How are they detecting you casting that magic?
Well, theoretically, the Cloaks have various different things in place as well to catch it, but they also just rely on the people who are also hate magic users outside of the Cloaks because of a past history of a sorcerer king named Nesker, who used to rule Mulemaster. And he was eventually deposed by the first High Blade over 100 years ago. And from there, they outlawed arcane casting of all sorts because the sorcerer king was quite a brutal king, from what we understand.
I mean, I'm all aboard. As a paladin, I'm good with keeping the arcane casters down.
Oh yeah, you got to keep them to a minimum, right?
Yeah.
From there, they did a lot of very interesting things with what they do for how the Cloaks work. There's also the Hawks, which are like an elite secret police force or secret military group. There is a big difference between the City Watch and the City Soldiery. The Soldiery is both the Navy and the Army of the city, and they're considered very competent and very loyal.
Similar to Neverwinter in that split in the two organizations.
Split in organizations, but not split in competence. In Neverwinter, the Watch and the Soldiery are very competent both, and they have their specifics. In Mulemaster, the Watch are considered the people who failed and couldn't get into the Soldiery because they were either lazy, they were too rotten, or they just weren't loyal enough, and they basically were too self-centered to do whatever. There are some, patches of excellence among the City Watch. There are some people, who do want to do a good job and do take care of their people. But it's a very squalid situation for most people there. There's 49 different noble families, and everybody else is kowtowed to them. And if you're not a noble, well, basically you live day to day, just trying to scrape by. And then to finally make your life better, there's a whole bunch of refugees who came from Flan and Zentil Keep when they fell, who are now living in the ghettos. I mean, there's an area known as the ghettos. There's an area known as the Zent ghettos. It's just what it is there. And so it's someone else for even the squalid locals to kick around because they're considered the outsiders. And the party is made up of people who are mostly from those outsiders, those people who came from the ghettos or from the outside world. I think from the chat, they mentioned that you may not have appreciated it because the paladin may not like the prevalence of Bane worship.
Yeah, and I was seeing that. And I was kind of waiting for a break to really address it, and it's kind of. I don't know, because Radiant's not like a lawful good paladin, right? He's not a paladin of a good deity. He's a paladin of a neutral deity. So I think I would be okay. I mean, as long as you're not doing like obviously evil things directly in front of me, like if you're just not murdering children in front of me, just because you're a worshiper of Bane, I'm probably okay with.
What about merciless power?
Okay. Again, it's how you use it, I think.
Mercilessly.
Right, but mercilessly in what way?
Um, you steal bread because you're starving, so they cut off your hand. Still sound like a fair and just balanced system.
But again, that's not Ringen's bag, so
Okay. Interesting. Chat wants to know if the cast and crew will see the merciless power. It's entirely possible.
But can I see them?
Yes, it is entirely possible that will come out this Saturday. So the party just got done. They escorted a Red Wizard of Thay from a noble's house to the Thayan embassy. It was quite a interesting situation, as the party had never, the great part about this particular crew is they're a lot of fun to play with. They've never played a game with each other before until that day.
That's great.
They had a great interaction behind the scenes, just trying to get stuff situated. They played their first situation, their first battle together. It was quite a trial. They discovered something interesting and scary in the alchemist shop. And you can catch this, of course, on YouTube when you're ready to watch it and stuff like that too. But the next episode will be this Saturday. I expect that you'll see quite a bit of interesting threats, cajoling, running, and other mysteriousness going on, as they've already had to fight off whatever strange thing was creating demons in the streets. So we expect that the party will be in a quite a unique situation, that they will be making some serious decisions very quickly.
You're gonna make some moral decisions, or
we'll see if they get in a moral dilemma or not. That's mostly what they get themselves into at this point,
I always find moral dilemmas to be one of the more interesting parts of role playing, because it really that's when the combat's great and all, but moral dilemmas is really when you either have to take yourself out of what you as a person would do versus you as a character.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. If you're staying in character and stuff like that too, yeah, it can be very challenging. And moral dilemmas also, it's different when you're acting as an individual versus when you're acting as a group, because now you have to deal with different people's own interpretations separately of what to do as well. And it depends on what that moral dilemma is. What if someone's accused of doing a crime in the group? Does the group try to protect their friend? Or do they turn their friend in and then go try to protect them?
As long as you keep them away from the lawful good paladin or cleric, you'll be fine.
Right. Well, even the lawful good cleric or paladin who knows that someone's innocent may not let them be taken in if they thought that they had an unjust prison system.
Then would they be lawful?
Lawful doesn't mean they're following the laws of the land. Lawful means they're following an honor code.
True.
Whether it's the laws of the land or the laws of their deity.
Also,
it's fairly interesting.
You're right.
So to put it in perspective, Timora, there's a temple of Timora in Mulmaster. They hate the city watch. They will absolutely hide people in the city watch and give them space to rest, possibly even get medical care if they're on the run from the city watch. So it's kind of like the priests hiding people in the city kind of situation. So it's a very interesting dilemma you may find there. Constantly saddling my players in Avernus with the soul coin dilemma. Do I drive a cool war machine and burn away a soul for all eternity or not?
No.
Ooh, that is a tough one.
Renin would say no soul.
What if it's a bad person?
No soul.
What if it's a bad person who killed your mother?
No.
What if they said they had no urges or compunctions to repent for their sins?
Not the drive behind Rinyan. Remember, Rinyan's about the light of life. So
what if this person burned down lots of forests?
it again, that is nature, you know.
I'm just waiting to see where your balance breaks, my friend.
Wildfires happen. To permanently snuff the light out, though, that'd be a no-go. That's a hard no-go. That's like one of the core tenets.
Interesting. Well, I hope you don't go to hell anytime soon.
Don't give him ideas, okay?
Oh, Quentin? Oh, no, I'd never. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, Rinian's already been to the abyss.
I know.
It's not like he wouldn't, have another shot at it. I was there. I was there.
That was a dark place.
Well, I tell you what, man, let's cut it for the evening. Chat, do you have anything else you want to add? We really appreciate you guys being there. Love the questions tonight. Excited to talk about the shows coming up. Definitely check them out when you can. Tomorrow, the Velkin Weave, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Saturday, we've got the RPG short shots with Dark Days and Mole Master at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
maybe one of these times we'll be able to actually get Reid here to let something slip on the next game that he hides in the shadows.
You talking about are you talking about the one for Thursday, or are you talking about the other ones that were in the wings?
As already stated right here, folks, he's got plans.
Well, it's not just plans. There's people involved. There's other people putting together some cool stuff too. But I won't get into too many details on that. Not till we're announcing when it's actually happening. So.
All right.
Yeah. But suffice to say, this year is going to be a good year for the Games Tavern. I'm pretty excited about it.
There's so much going for it.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much. Hype for everybody. We'll see you guys next week on the Games Tavern Happy Hour, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the meantime, we're going to sign off here. Say goodbye, Jeff.
Goodbye, Jeff.
I knew you were going to do that. I did. Take care.